Welcome to Simply Happy Conversations, a podcast that teaches you how to create a clutter-free, functional, and simply happy life. I'm Narelle King, a professional organiser who supports family with practical steps to simplify their lives and create a more organised home. I'm passionate about supporting neurodivergent families and individuals like myself. Have you ever wondered why donations of kids' clothing from a friend, family members, or a charity are still sitting in a corner at your home to be sorted? Maybe you aren't sure of the steps and the thought of it feels overwhelming. Today, I'm going to share with you the process so that you can get started on that donation bag or make it easy for you to do a declutter and organise of your child's wardrobe on a regular basis. Thanks for joining me for today's solo episode with steps to help you declutter and organise your child's wardrobe. Babies and kids, they grow so quickly. To stay on top of the size changes, you need a process that makes it easy to do on a regular basis. So the benefits of us going through our kids' and babies' wardrobes is we're going to keep their clothes and belongings nice and tidy. It also means we're going to stay on top of what sizes we need and clothes that they're missing and they need replacing. It's also going to help teach them some organising skills once they're into sort of childhood and they're not a baby anymore. And then it's also going to help with developing independence with dressing, and maybe also putting clothes away would be our ultimate at the end that hopefully our kids and teens can do. So I've got 7 steps that I'm going to share with you to help you then declutter on a regular basis. So number 1, we're going to declutter the clothes. We're going to start by getting everything out of the wardrobe, and then we're going to go through using binary decisions, yes or no. Things that still fit and they like wearing, and no, the things they do not fit in and that they no longer want to wear. This process is great if you've got young children that can be involved, and you can then explain to them the importance of donating and passing on clothes they no longer need. You may even have a younger child or planning to have more children and you want to keep some of those items. Again, they're still going to be in the no pile for now. So usually when I'm working with a client, I will then put the no pile into a bag out of the way or into a box or a washing basket, and we've just got the clothes that we're focusing on. So it's great if you've got someone else to help you, because then they could remove those clothes so it doesn't get messy and really confusing, because that is one of the most overwhelming parts if you have a lot of kids' clothes. Number 2 is then sort them into seasons. So all the clothes you're keeping, you're sorting into the different seasons, winter, sort of summer. You might have some overlap and you're going to keep those out. By keeping only the current clothes, it makes it easier for your child to access them out of their cupboard, because you're not trying to store so many in one spot. So it actually means that your child's going to be less overwhelmed with the fewer clothes, and it's going to make it easier for them to find their clothes and also maybe even dress themselves. The next process in this part, when we've sorted it into season, is then actually categorizing it into pants, shorts, dresses, jumpers, t-shirts, into the different items so that you can see how many you have. You might have 20 pairs of leggings and only 5 t-shirts, and this is a great time when you could write down the items that you're going to need to get when you go to the shops next or online. But it's also a great opportunity to look at the items that you have, and you may have too many and it's going to be too overwhelming for your child, and maybe they could go into our donation bag. Now, if you have donations from family, friends, or even a charity, and they've been sitting in that bag, you then get that bag, and we're going to go through that and do a yes, no. The things you would like to keep, the things you don't want to keep. Move the ones you don't want to keep to the side in another bag. And then the ones you want to keep, you need to then sort into the categories you have. Your seasons, and then the items of clothing like t-shirts, pants, dresses. Because one part to the donations is you're going to have to check the size of them, because they may be various sizes in one bag. That is why I keep it as a separate part. I go through their clothes first and then I would do the donations. Our number 3 is looking at our no pile. We need to go through this pile now and decide what items could be donated to a charity, maybe donated to a friend who has a child who's smaller, or maybe they need to be put into a box for another child within the family. And then finally, you may be able to recycle the material if it's past anyone else being able to use that actual item. There's rips, there's tears, there's stains on it to then be upcycled to make other items. So number 4 is using kid-friendly storage solutions. So looking at how easy it is for your kids to use, such as low-hanging rods or shelves. And maybe you're only using like bottom 3 shelves because it's too high for them. And that could be then used for the other season of clothes, could be placed up higher or placed into containers. Then you could look at the smaller items, maybe using a divider in a drawer, or maybe they have small drawers beside their bed that they could use for those items, underwear and socks that make it easy to get out. The drawers need to be easy to open. If you want your child to develop the independence, then make sure that the drawers are easy for them to open themselves. Another thing to consider when you're using your storage solutions is your wardrobe and what else you are storing in your wardrobe if you're wanting your children to actually dress themselves. So I've worked with so many children and their wardrobe has been organized. It's got lovely labels. And when I've asked them, what's the problem? How come it's really difficult for you still to get dressed in the morning and choose your clothes? It's the overwhelm of all the other things in the wardrobe. I've had a child who was telling me, yeah, but there's all the other things there and I really didn't know what to choose because there was just too much in my face. So things like storage of Christmas, camping, paperwork, if you've got those in, and I know you might have limited storage, but if that is a real goal for you, removing those things from your child's wardrobe is definitely going to help them with then looking at their items. If they're really struggling to choose their clothes and also dress themselves, just have that in the back of your mind. Maybe their wardrobe, even though they're not their things, is just too overwhelming. Number 5 is label everything. 2 reasons. It's going to help your child to develop independence. It might help you or your partner or even family members who might come over or a support worker put the items away in the correct place. Maybe for yourself, you've had a huge week and this is just going to make it easier to remember where the items go instead of opening every drawer. With really young children, I like to use photos. If they're there, I encourage them to take a photo of their clothes. So a t-shirt, one of the leggings, maybe one dress, and I then print them out. We put them on the storage solution with a Velcro dot so we can move the pictures around if things need to be moved from different drawers. I also will use writing as well and use a label. And the other thing is I have got standard pictures and they're like color in pictures that I've also used with clients and their child has colored it in how they liked it. And then I've laminated them and we've stuck them on. This just helps with ownership when it's either their own clothes or it's them that have coloured it in. They're going to be more likely to use the process because they're part of the development of it. So number 6 is keeping daily essentials accessible for the child. So store those items like school uniforms, or maybe it's kinder play clothes or daycare clothes at a height for them so they can easily access them. This is a great area to focus on as a first step for them to learn to dress themselves. I've worked with families that will have a trolley where they might put those items. I've had a trolley in the lounge room, in their bedroom, even in the bathroom, and even at the front door another family have. And this might be really suited for young kids where they can then just go from getting dressed and there's no distraction in the bedroom and then maybe straight to breakfast. And number 7 is involve your kids and regularly declutter. By encouraging your kids to help and maintain the process, it's teaching them how to maybe fold the clothes properly. For some kids, it's better that they're just thrown in and it keeps them in a category, but it doesn't necessarily have to be folded in a beautiful way. But for some kids, they're really going to love that. And by decluttering regularly, so scheduling it maybe between seasons, or if you've got really young kids, it's when they have a big growth spurt and they're not fitting into their clothes. This is going to help prevent you becoming overwhelmed with all the clutter again. So let me just remind you of our 7 steps. Our first one was decluttering all the clothes and pulling them out of the wardrobe. Number 2 was sorting them into seasons and then into the categories and making sure that we have our no pile to the side. Number 3 is looking at our no piles so that we can work out what's going to donations or maybe what we're keeping for another child that's younger, or even things that maybe need to be recycled. Number 4 is using kid-friendly storage solutions. So just thinking about the height and how big they are, and can they access the items really easily? Is it in boxes or containers that's easy for a child to lift down and not too overwhelming? Number 5 is labeling everything. Pictures are great for young kids and words as well. Number 6 is keep your daily essentials like their school uniform or their kinder clothes in an area where they can access it really easily. And number 7 is involve your child and regularly declutter. I hope by sharing this process that it makes it easier for you to do on a regular basis and develop your child's independence. I'd love for you to join the Simply Happy Organisation Facebook group to share your organisation wins and ideas and learn some hacks to help you to create a more functional and organised home. Thanks for listening to Simply Happy Conversations. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Simply Happy Conversation. If you find yourself wasting precious time searching for misplaced items and wishing for a more organised life, then you need my 5-minute declutter ebook, the ultimate guide to quick and easy organising solutions for a clutter-free and happy home. Forget about spending months KonMariing your house. These fun solutions are designed to give you immediate results in under 5 minutes. Head over to Simply Happy in the resource section and download your free copy and start seeing results in minutes. I'd like to acknowledge the Wathaurong people of the Kulin Nation on which this podcast is recorded as the traditional custodians of the land. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present and emerging.